This episode is brought to you by Share a Sale. Share a Sale is a great way for you to start making money on your podcast, online show, or blog. I know that if you guys are like me, there was a time where you were watching other people have podcasts and they have tons of sponsors. And you were wondering, how come I don't have sponsors? My show's way better than that show. Well, no more. You can now make money on your content. If you're a startup podcast or online show or blogger, this is a great way for you to make money at Share a Sale. All you have to do is click the link in the description and sign up as an affiliate. You will fill out an application to become an affiliate. Regardless if you're approved or not, you pay absolutely nothing to do this, guys. There's absolutely zero risk. So click the link in the description once again and fill out an application to become an affiliate. Once you are approved, you will then have access to many different types of merchants, thousands to be exact, thousands and thousands of different types of products and services that are going to pay you to mention their product or put it in your blogs. So all you need to do is, once again, use the link in the description for Share a Sale, sign up as an affiliate, and once approved, you will then have access to all of these merchants. Here's my recommendation for you, personally, for me, Agostino Zoida, the host of the Homeschooled podcast. If you know your audience, let's say you got a lot of stoners listening, so you know they like marijuana stuff. Whatever your age group is, you know your audience. So think about the products and services that you use or they would use that you would be really passionate about talking about. There's thousands and thousands of merchants on Share a Sale, so look for any of those and start there. So that is how you can have sponsors on your podcast, blog, or online show right away. And if you're a startup podcaster or blogger, this is definitely a great way to get going and start making money on your content. So use the link in the description, and nobody has any risk. Nobody loses anything. You're helping out your own podcast. You're helping out this podcast, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Now, with that being said, welcome to Homeschooled Podcast. Thank you, guys. I hope that you enjoy this upcoming episode where I'm going to kick it over in just a second. You'll hear about me and Kevin having a movie discussion, which I really would like you guys to listen to it. I liked it a lot. It's a discussion that I really, really like, and I hope that you enjoy it. I have been super busy, as I've been mentioning. I have 3 weekends in a row of tour dates, including last weekend I was in Detroit. By the way, if you're at one of my Detroit shows, thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate you guys. I was actually in Ferndale, Michigan. Really cool town. People were awesome and friendly and showed me a good time and recommended good places for me to eat and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And then like the next 2 weekends in a row, I'm on the road. And then after that, I come back, and then I'm in Vegas for a whole week. So I've been doing my best to get these Homeschooled podcast episodes out. And, so I'm sorry, guys, if I only release one or haven't been that consistent with it or on time or getting and booking guests. I've been doing what I can, either by myself or something like that. So it's all because I just kind of crazy touring right now. But the 500th episode is coming. We are going to get this back on track. After I film this special, we'll be back on track. So if you guys want to see me live, I will be filming my special in Paso Robles, California this weekend. It's Saturday, May 21st, and it's at the California Coast Brewing Company. It's a huge brewery in Paso Robles, and I am filming it in their event hall, which is I've performed there before. It's a really fun venue to perform. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to film my special. I'm excited to also get it over with so that I can focus on a lot of the things that I have on my plate, because I've been putting all my focus on that. So if you want to get tickets, they're still available. And then after that, I will be in Salt Lake City. So Saturday, May 27th, I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. And then May 28th, the following day, I'm in St. George, Utah. And you can get tickets for all of these shows and plus see where I'm going to be coming to a town near you. Everything is posted on my website. Go to agostinocomedian.com or homeschooledpod.com. I'll slow down one more time for my homeschool kids out there. That's homeschooledpod.com. All right. Now, if you guys already didn't know, I have an online show which is like a comedy movie talk show, okay? It goes to YouTube and Instagram, and it has been always under 5 minutes. So they're quick episodes, and I do it with my closest friend, Kevin Lyons, where we love talking about movies together. And it's kind of just a funny comedy spin on movie discussion review shows, and we throw in movie trivia at the end. And so normally, the episodes are really, really funny, and we'll discuss the movie, and then at the end we play movie trivia. Whoever wins the movie trivia, it's first person to get to 3 wins. They get to choose the movie that we discuss next. And because we have such opposite opinions on movies, we will often force the other one to watch something that they wouldn't normally watch, and that's what we do if we win. So it always makes for a very funny episode that's always under 5 minutes. It's going great. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Now, the most recent one we did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which actually is doing the worst of all of the numbers of every one we've released so far. And I have a feeling because it's not that funny. And I will admit to you, it's not that funny. And it's not that funny because both of us absolutely love this movie, so there's nothing really to make fun of. It's not us arguing back and forth about it. So when it's a movie we both really, really love, it doesn't make for that much comedy. But I still really enjoy doing the episode. And when I was editing it, because again, I make sure that they're always under 5 minutes for Instagram, there were so many things that I wanted to leave in, but I had to cut it out to make it under 5 minutes, and it wasn't that funny, so I just, I cut a lot of stuff out. But there's so much stuff, I think, great insight, great points. It's just a great discussion about this movie. So if you know this movie well, if you guys want to have a discussion about it, this episode is for you. So I am releasing the entire discussion, which again is only about a 30-minute discussion of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Our show is called The Movie Stash. If you're not already, please subscribe to me on YouTube. The link is below. Or just search Homeschooled Entertainment. That's the channel on YouTube. Or go to Instagram and follow me at Agostino Zoida. You'll see it in the description below. And that's where the videos all get posted there. But very rarely are you able to listen to the whole discussion. So this is what we're going to do. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Here it is. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Enjoy.
Please take your seats. School is now in session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey.
It's time for a good old-fashioned drunk.
I'm Rick Dalton. He's Cliff Booth. He carries my load.
You have a very wonderful load to carry.
All right.
Got this. I believe in you. Don't cry in front of the Mexicans.
Welcome back to the Movie Stash. I'm excited for today because I love this movie. Kevin won trivia last time, and he chose this movie, which is no punishment to me. I've already seen it 1,000 times, but just for shits and giggles, I watched it again.
Well, I wanted to do something fun for us that we both loved, and just to celebrate, just because we love movies and we both have our movie stashes, and I just wanted something that was in both of our stashes.
I don't know how funny this episode is going to be because the funniest episodes are when we make fun of stuff. And I have almost nothing to make fun of this movie. It's honestly one of my favorite movies of all time.
Because we don't have to make fun of it. It's something that we just laugh along to anyway, because there's so many great movie moments in this movie.
There's a lot of great movie moments in this movie.
Oh, yeah, there is.
I remember watching this movie the first time in theaters with you. And I remember I didn't really know how I felt about it as I was watching. The whole time I was like, where's Sharon Tate? Like when is something going to happen with the Manson family? But that's not, it's what the movie's about, but it's not necessarily what the movie's about. But it's one of those movies when you leave the theater, I couldn't get certain scenes out of my mind that I just had to go back and watch it in the theater again. And I did. And I actually saw the movie in the theater a total of 3 times.
I forget how many times I saw it, but it was definitely at least 3 times. But something I liked about it is that the first viewing, I kind of had a little bit of the same. I didn't know what to think. But then I realized that it wasn't so much as a movie as it was an experience in these guys' lives. And that's all I wanted to see. I didn't need a story. I just needed to see these guys hang out because they're awesome.
They're a great pair.
Yeah.
Tarantino has used Brad Pitt a couple of times. He's used Leonardo DiCaprio a couple of times. And them together just works. I want them to be in another movie together.
Mm-hmm. Like it was almost like a buddy comedy that takes place in like, what was it, the late 60s or 70s?
It's 1969.
It was like one of the golden ages of Hollywood, and I know that that's what he wanted. He wanted to make an ode to that time in Hollywood, and man, did he pick some fun characters to.
That's so funny you said it's a buddy comedy, because it is.
Yeah.
But during the most horrific animalistic massacre in Hollywood history, he made it funny. It's so great. So a couple of things that I want to kind of quickly touch on really quick. I will mention that my entire life I was never a big Brad Pitt fan.
Okay.
I just sort of kind of lumped him in with Tom Cruise a lot all the time. People always compare those two for some reason, but you shouldn't, because they do very different movies.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that Tarantino is to thank for me being a giant Brad Pitt fan now.
Just because of this movie?
No. It started with Inglourious Basterds.
Okay, yeah. He was great in Inglourious Basterds.
He's great in Inglourious Basterds. He's so funny, dude. And yeah, he's great in Inglourious Basterds. And then this movie, I've since gone back and watched a bunch of Brad Pitt movies that I'm now big fans of.
Well, it's not even just watching Brad Pitt movies. For me, it's just always rewatching this movie, just because I just love all the character moments about it. Like, I don't care about the story. I just want to see these guys be these characters, and it's just so like addicting to watch them and all their moments, and just to watch them be best friends. I never really thought of it as a buddy comedy. Not even a buddy comedy, just two friends just hanging out in the 60s. Like, one's a famous actor and one's a stuntman, and just a day in their life I could just watch all the time.
Dude, I think last week when I watched it, I think I texted you this, that like this movie is about friendship. I mean, obviously it's about the Manson murders, Sharon Tate, but it is, but it isn't. It really is about like the days leading up to it, but it's about these two characters that are best friends, and in the late 60s, two super straight dudes didn't openly talk about their best friendship like we do today. Yeah. They would do it subtly. They'd be like, well, they would joke around with each other. They'd pretend to fight. You'd be like, well, give me my glasses back. Or, he's like, you want to watch my episode of FBI? And he's like, I just figured we would. And he's got a 6-pack already.
And Leonardo DiCaprio in Tarantino movies always make the best memes. Like, you have the one from Django Unchained, and when he's just like, "Urgh." And then you have the one in this movie where he sees himself on TV, he's drinking the beer, he's like, whoa! Like, those are just, I don't know, it's meme magic. It's not movie magic, it's meme magic.
Do your best impression of him pointing at himself on the TV at the same time. On 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Just so I can use for the thumbnail.
But something I did really like about this is because we didn't know what we were going to get with this movie, but we did know that it had to do with the Manson murders and the Sharon Tate murders. Yeah. But we didn't know how Tarantino was going to cover it. And so that was my whole draw to this movie. I'm like, I wonder how he's going to do it. And what I like about it is that he did it the way that he wanted to do it. Obviously, it wasn't historically accurate at all, but it was just so cool just to see that night of murders happen through Tarantino's eyes. And it is incredibly satisfying. And it is one of my favorite third acts of a movie ever.
I would say in some ways it actually is historically accurate. The dates, the times, the characters, or the real life characters anyway. It was accurate of everything that was going on in Hollywood at the time. But yeah, you're right. It's completely not true. But I like that he does that. He did the same thing for Inglourious Basterds. Yes. The ending obviously is Hitler, getting shot in the face until his face fucking falls apart.
Well, that was a remake, right? Inglourious Basterds?
No, I didn't know. Well, don't ruin it for me.
I love ruining shit for you.
But I love that. Obviously, that's not what happened to Hitler. But I love that he likes to put in his movies what he wished happened. Mm-hmm. And then we got the same thing at the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which, by the way, is for the majority of the movie, almost no violence. Considering it's a Tarantino movie, it's the least amount of blood and violence. But that end scene, though, dude, third act. That last scene, that third act, it's like that was his vision of what he hoped or wished had happened that evening.
Well, here's my thoughts on that is because they built up this chemistry between the two characters throughout the whole movie. And then as it got closer to the third act, you kind of realize, I'm like, whoa, I think he's changing the timeline of the Tate murders, the Manson murders were going to happen to these two. And your heart started to sink. It's like, I don't want to see these two friends die. But, and then that scene happened, and it was so amazing. They came out on top, and it was just absolutely the coolest fucking end scene to. Personally, it's my favorite Tarantino movie.
So hang on, I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Ask me that later if it's my favorite Tarantino movie. I like that we get that. Like I said, the movie's about friendship, and in the end, it really does come to like some closure. Where I mean, Cliff Booth saves Rick Dalton's life.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love the very last second of the movie, to where they're all in Sharon Tate's driveway.
Yeah.
And then that music starts, and you just get that what if feeling.
Yeah.
Like, what if that's really how, like, God, I wish that's how it went down.
Is everybody okay? Well, the hippies sure aren't.
Yeah.
That was great. I love how much Leo hates hippies in this movie,
Yeah.
and it just makes it so much great. But
they established that in the beginning of the movie when he's driving. Well, Brad Pitt's driving, but he's in the car, and they pass by hippies. He's like, "Damn hippies!" And then one of my there's so many. Like, I've seen the movie 20 times, but each time I get something from the movie.
Yeah.
This last time I watched it, I love when he's picking up hippie girl, who is Pussycat.
Yep.
And when the cop goes by her, she goes,
she
goes like, "Fuck you, pig!" And then he's in the car, goes, "Oh no!"
I was gonna say, because the third act obviously is like our favorite parts of this movie.
Oh.
But other than the third act, what moment of the movie stands out to you as like one of your favorites?
Fuck, dude. I can't pick I can't pick one scene that is bad in this whole movie.
No.
And of course, my favorite part of the movie, which is like the one thing I won't give away, which is in the third act. So, other than the third act, I'm gonna say, I like Spawn Ranch.
Yeah, that was a cool scene, because that, out of the whole movie, that felt the most Tarantino-esque, because you didn't know what was going to happen, and he really played with your expectations on that.
I watched it with my parents, and the entire time, my parents were obviously, in their teens when the whole Tate murders happened, and they both were really familiar with what really went down. So they were, the whole entire movie, my parents were, it was like The Office. Which one's Glee? Like, like my mom and dad kept going, "When does Manson come?" And then, so watching it with my parents, watching it with my parents was really interesting, because the entire time they would just, be like that scene in Spawn Ranch. They were waiting for like, "Oh, don't go in there." They were like talking to the TV, telling Brad Pitt, "Don't go in there." And then when he went in, they're like, "Oh, something's gonna happen to him. Something's gonna happen to him," because nothing really happened, but they know that the Manson family lives there, so it was shady. But what I like about that scene is I love how badass Cliff Booth is.
Yeah.
When he comes out and the entire Manson family is there.
Yeah.
40 or 50 of them, and they sent someone off to go get Tex to come back.
I hate that actor.
Was going to be Elvis.
I know.
So we'll see what happens. But like fucking Tex is the real person who killed everyone. Sharon, that's the guy who killed them all in real life. Like the creepiest, scariest dude. So I love that he just stands up to all of them, punches that one dude out, and just handles the whole situation and goes like, "Fix it." Dude, I wish that I was that cool in moments of my life. The closest I ever came was when I was waiting for a parking spot to pick up a pizza, and the guy was purposely taking a long time to get out of the parking spot because he knew I was waiting. And I parked behind him so he couldn't get out. And then I went up to his window and said, "No, you can't leave." And that's the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. But that moment.
I mean, obviously that these are fictional characters, but they are loosely based on real life actors and people, in Hollywood. But in this movie, there are movies within the movies that aren't real. And how bad do you want to watch the 13th fists of McCluskey. Like, I really want to see Leonardo DiCaprio just roast all those Germans with a blowtorch. I mean, whatever, a flamethrower.
Anybody order fried sauerkraut?
Yeah, dude, that was just so great. I will say though, like, even though the third act is my favorite part, I do love that opening sequence of Leonardo DiCaprio meeting with Al Pacino about the movie,
dude.
because like that felt like a Tarantino dialogue scene, but it didn't feel forced, like how you know whenever you watch a Tarantino movie and you have those long drawn out scenes and it's like all this dialogue. This is the first time I saw one of his movies where I felt that scene didn't feel like forced with dialogue. It just, I wanted to know more about what it was like casting people in Hollywood back in the 60s. And that scene was really cool. And on top of that, I love the Brad Pitt, Bruce Lee scene. That was really cool.
So hang on. You're getting to two different things. So
Okay.
I agree with you on that scene. I think it totally feels Tarantino.
Boom, pow.
Yeah,
pow.
it's just Tarantino. I don't necessarily agree that it feels dragged on in his other movies, because I think that he is the king of dialogue. And
Yes.
I will watch two people talk about nothing.
Yes.
If Tarantino wrote it. So with that being said, but yeah, that Al Pacino scene, boom, pow, it's just great.
I do want to take back what I said. I didn't mean that it was drawn out. It's just sometimes when you're watching his movies, the scenes felt like they were written. It didn't feel like how people naturally talked. But with him and Pacino, that felt so natural, and it felt like a Tarantino scene. I loved it.
Yeah. What do they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Amsterdam? Like a king something.
Something Royale.
Yeah, King Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
Because of the metro system.
Yeah.
Look at the big brains on bread. Like, this is just the dumbest conversations that you can't look away. So hold off on the Bruce Lee thing for a second.
Okay.
One last thing before we move on to the other two things I told you to hold off on. I would like to say that I love I love that Tarantino brought a realistic feel of Hollywood. I am from Los Angeles, California. Specifically, I grew up in the valley of Los Angeles, California, and the Casa Vega restaurant still looks exactly like that. I felt like that's where I grew up watching this movie. Not only that, in the beginning of the movie, they show Brad Pitt driving home after he drops off Rick, and he's driving down Sunset, and it just rings so true to me. I've driven down that road 100 times, but the movie theater that he lives at, the drive-in movie theater, it's the Van Nuys movie theater. That's where Brad Pitt's trailer is. So Brad Pitt lives in a trailer at a drive-in movie theater. That was a real movie theater, and that's where my family and I went to go see movies at the drive-in. Cool. And watching that movie, that sign isn't there anymore, dude. Tarantino brought back the original sign for that movie theater. I'm like, dude, that's exactly how it looked when I was a kid. And hold on a second. Not only that, dude, I love that he captures the year and the location so perfectly. If you listen to the soundtrack of this movie, I have the soundtrack. There's a lot of great songs on there. There's commercials on the soundtrack. I don't think that any movie soundtrack has ever done that ever. If you buy the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood soundtrack, there's commercials, because throughout the movie, you don't even realize it. When they're driving in the car and stuff, they're listening to commercials that aired during the time. It's just, dude, you kidding me?
Well, I know that this was his love letter to that period of time. And so you know that he was going to pull out all the stops and make it feel as authentic as possible, because I guess he was a kid during that time and he really wanted to represent it. And it was just, dude, he just killed it. It was awesome. That's
great.
I love that movie.
I love it too. You were going to say, I don't understand why so many people don't like it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get that this is a long movie and it doesn't have a typical storyline. I just don't get that all the hate that it got after it came out. Like, a lot of people didn't like this movie, and I don't understand why. I can see maybe after the first viewing why you couldn't really love the movie, but after, like, it was one of those movies that it's like a meal that has a really good aftertaste, and after you eat it, you keep tasting it and you keep thinking about it, and that's what this movie did, and I love it when movies do that.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to put it. I 100% agree with that, dude. I mean, I did love it the first time, but I guess I can see how people would not, and they would need to rewatch it again. But a lot of people probably wouldn't rewatch it again. They wouldn't do.
After that first viewing, yeah.
But I know a lot of people that their main reason that they don't like this movie is they don't like how Bruce Lee is portrayed.
I think that's stupid because he wasn't being portrayed accurately on purpose. He was being portrayed through a retelling of somebody else's account of what happened. That's like you having your own opinion of a situation that you experience. Obviously, there's three sides to every story. There's your side, my side, and the truth. But I can also, like, it didn't feel so out of character of him. I mean, like, he felt just a little bit cocky, and he was on the set of a TV show. I can see how that could maybe upset the Bruce Lee family, but I didn't think it was. That doesn't warrant to hate the movie.
So Bruce Lee's family was very upset about it. But not only that, Bruce Lee's following still to this day is so huge that people idolize him still to this day. They were very upset about it. And I kind of get where they're coming from. Tarantino just responds, like you said, his point of view. He said, I had met and heard stories about Bruce Lee, and he goes, and that was my impression of him.
They're mad at that, but they're not mad at the fact that Sharon Tate didn't actually get murdered in the movie. Like, come on, dude, it's a movie.
I like that fact, actually.
Yeah, but I just think it's a little ridiculous. That's why you're gonna hate a movie. He just wants to do something different, and it was very entertaining. And it was, even if that's out of Bruce Lee's character, it was still entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the most horrific animalistic murders in the history of time. Probably number one in Hollywood, the Sharon Tate house, followed by the next day, the La Bianca murders. And what a challenging, sensitive thing to talk about. And he nails it. He pulled it off. And it kind of is emotional for me because number one, I'm a huge Tarantino fan. Number two, I grew up there. I know that story very well about the Manson murders and the justification of friendship and what could have happened at the end really just makes me feel good.
Yeah, because how many times have you gone through an experience and then retrospect, you thought, like, I wish I did it differently. I wish it was like this. That's what the ending of this movie felt like to me. It was just something that he wished that had happened.
He's like doing alternate endings for life.
Yes, and I like that. Why
I like
not?
that too.
I want to see this type of stuff.
I like that too. I think the other thing I told you to hold off for a second on was you said this is your favorite Tarantino movie.
At first, like after seeing this movie a couple of times, I started toying with the idea that it could be my favorite because it's the most that I've just wanted to constantly rewatch. I love Pulp Fiction. I love Reservoir Dogs. And for some reason, I just can't stop thinking about this movie just because I think it was just so well written and well acted that it actually has become my favorite Tarantino movie. And that's not dogging the other ones.
No.
Just my personal favorite.
Trying to like choose your favorite Tarantino movie is really difficult because there's so many good ones. There's some like okay ones, like the Death Proof is okay. It's probably the bottom of the list of all the Tarantino movies for me.
And I love Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction is so good. And Reservoir Dogs, those are like my top two. But this takes the cake.
Dude, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my top three for sure Tarantino movies. It's kind of tied with Inglourious Bastards, but number one still remains Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction is the only movie that the Agometer has ever hit 10.
Oh, wow.
No other movie, not even Back to the Future, is hit 10.
What do you not like about what would make Back to the Future not a 10 for you?
It's a 9.5.
Why? What is that 0.5 that's not bringing it up to a 10? That's what I got to know.
The trilogy brings me to a 9.5.
Just the one movie, the first movie. Is that a 10?
Part one, no.
Why?
There's a couple of, each movie has a little bit to pick on.
Okay.
So, but they're all three together, they're almost a perfect movie.
Okay.
I mean, that's a whole other episode to pick it apart.
It's Crispin Glover, isn't it?
Yeah. Of course. I mean, I don't want to say anything. But And then Reservoir Dogs and Django are kind of tied for fourth for me.
Yeah, I mean, I just love all of his movies, but this is my top just because I feel like I've rewatched it more times than I've seen the other movies.
The last thing that I want to talk about is another reason that people may not like this movie is that it is very long. It is 3 hours, and this is my like comeback to you because you always get on me that I don't like long movies.
Yes.
This movie's 3 hours, and I will watch it gladly any day of the week. Yeah, dude, which goes to show you that it's not that I don't like long movies. I don't like movies that feel long. So it doesn't feel long. I'm entertained and sucked in the full 3 hours. It goes by like that. Like I said, I invited my parents over to watch it. I warned them it was 3 hours. They were like, I forgot it was 3 hours watching it.
Just for the audience, real quick, how do you gauge time-wise what is a long movie? What is the time limit that says, all right, this is a long movie? Not what the subject matter is about or the flow. When you hear the time of a movie, what makes you say that's long and that's not long?
So I think anything over 2 hours is long.
Okay, I agree with you.
An hour and a half is like a perfect, great movie for comedy.
I'm like 145.
Yeah, yeah. That too. If it's a more dramatic, and you asked me earlier about some movies are daytime movies and some movies are nighttime movies.
Yes.
I feel like daytime movies for me are usually an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes.
You got to watch something before you go to work.
That, or like even on a Saturday, like
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck in the house the whole day, but I do want to watch a quick movie, then go for a hike, and then come back and watch my nighttime movies, which are 2 hours.
Yeah.
So anything over 2 hours, I go like, I'm down. Even if it's like 2:20, I'm like, okay, I'm down as long as it's gonna be good. But I mean, obviously 3 is fucking long, bro.
4.
Oh,
Zack Snyder 4-hour movie.
that's
still
a
good
long-
though, but
it's
you
still
still
good.
liked it.
It's still good. I watched
Still
it
liked it.
like a TV show.
Yeah, that's how you have to do it.
It was you know what, dude? This movie just it all comes down to what feels long. Sometimes there's a third act that feels like this is where the movie's ending.
Mm-hmm.
That's what ruins the movie for me a lot. It goes like, this is probably where the movie's ending. It has that
And it
feel.
keeps going.
And then it keeps going because they
Yeah.
didn't know where to end it, and it's like, oh, it drags. So anyway, that's all I have to say about it being long. The Agometer on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is about a 9.
I'm at the same with you. I'm at a 9 too.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
like
say-
maybe 9.5, but
yeah, I would say the only thing that really doesn't bring it to a 10 is the length, because you really have to have the time set out to watch this movie, and which I have no problem doing. It never feels like a drag to watch this movie, because even if I just watch the first half of this movie, I love it.
it's almost perfect. Pulp
Mhm.
Fiction, I think, in my opinion, is perfect.
Yes, that's a yeah.
But this movie in terms of editing and stuff like that, 9.5. Same with Inglourious Bastards. I'm like 9.5, so that's why they're always like kind of tied. But anyway, needless to say, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is instantly in both of our movie stashes right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
As soon as it came out, I watched it 3 times in theaters. As soon as it came out in DVD, I bought that shit.
I did. I don't remember how many times I watched it in the theaters, but it was definitely more than 2. All right. Are you good?
Movie
You want to
trivia.
do some trivia? I'm down for some trivia, dude. Are you down for some
We
trivia?
haven't done movie trivia in a while.
I know. I'm excited.
Let's
Who's going to
do
go
it.
first?
You
Rock,
go
paper,
first,
scissors?
dude.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Sure.
Best 2 out of 3?
Sure.
All right, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No, you got to go rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Nobody says shoot. It's just rock, paper, scissors, go.
Well, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors,
shoot.
fireball.
All right, I win. I go first. Get out of here. All right. I think I'm going to do some Tarantino ones. All right, how about this one? Because you
Yeah.
love Pulp Fiction.
Hit me with it.
In Pulp Fiction,
Hold on, say it again.
in Pulp Fiction, Bruce Willis can't leave town because he forgot his watch. He told his fiancée his watch was right next to what animal statue on his nightstand?
The elephant?
Nope.
Fuck. Giraffe? Monkey?
Nope. And honestly, it's the way his fiancée says it that makes
Shut
me
up for a
remember
second.
it.
Shut up for a second. Kangaroo?
Good
Was
for
it
you.
really?
You got
Are you
it,
gonna give
dude.
it to me?
No,
Because I got
no.
it wrong 3 times.
No, it doesn't matter because you were just you were thinking out loud. All right, kangaroo, you got one, dude. You got one. All right, hit me. What you got?
I got a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood question for you.
Okay, I'm probably gonna get it wrong. I'm not looking.
George Spahn, the owner of Spahn Ranch,
Yeah,
is portrayed by Bruce. What's his name? Dern, right?
yeah.
Bruce Dern is portrayed by Bruce Dern. Who was?
Oh no, it's
What?
Burt Reynolds.
Such a fucking.
I knew the
Can I at
answer.
least say it out?
Yes.
Let me say the whole
Okay,
thing.
sorry.
George Spahn, the owner of Spahn Ranch, is portrayed by Bruce. Is it Dern?
Yeah, I think so.
I couldn't read my own handwriting. Is portrayed by Bruce Dern, who was originally casted before. You know what, dude? Fuck this whole question. You already got it right. I don't know why I couldn't read that.
Do you get mad at me when I answer the questions before you're done asking them?
Yes.
I guess that just goes to my fucking massive movie brain. All right. In Reservoir Dogs, when Mr. Blonde cuts the ear off of the police officer, what song is playing? It's a famous song.
Make it all right. I have it in my iPod and I listen to it all the time, and it's literally from the Reservoir soundtrack. I don't know the name of it. I could probably, if you give me a minute, I could probably sing it for you. Was that you?
that was the AC turn on.
Hang on a second.
Do you want me to give you a time limit?
No. Just give me a minute, dude.
Okay.
Just give me a minute, dude.
Do it.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna give you the title.
You're like stuck
Huh?
in like the middle of trying to figure out.
I know I could probably sing it for you. Cowboys to the left of me, Santa to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
I just said the answer to you, and you still didn't get it. I'm like,
hold on, shut up. It's called Stuck in the Middle.
Yes. I go, dude, you're stuck.
Come
like,
on, I knew it the
this.
whole time. That's a point.
But yeah, it is a point, but still, I still said the answer to you, and you still didn't get it. But
because I needed to sing it.
All right, what is it, 2-1?
It's 2-1, bro.
All right, let's see what you got.
Let's see what else I got for you. I actually have a very similar question for you.
Okay.
And it's also from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
All right.
Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate. What song is she dancing to in the Playboy Mansion scene?
Oh fuck, that's a fucking hard one because it's not a memorable. I remember the scene.
It's a famous song.
I know, but I don't know.
You sure you do? I would let you think about it a little bit if you want to think about it.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, you let me think about it. You could. I don't know what you think.
Do I at least get a hint, bro? I said the answer to you to your face, and you still didn't get it right away. Give me at least one.
Do you want me to hum it?
Yeah.
That's
hum
like.
Hum it. I said the literal name of the.
Yeah, but that didn't help me.
I know, but still.
I'll say a name. Son.
Fortunate Son?
No.
What is it?
I'm the son of a loving man.
No.
Do you not know that song?
Do
you want me to give you a different
If
question?
I heard it, no, whatever. Dude.
Is that too hard?
I've given you fucking difficult questions before.
All right.
And now I'm going to give you a really incredible difficult question.
All right.
Oh, man. Ugh. In The Sandlot, Benny the Jet Rodriguez has a chase with the Beast at the end of the movie. They're running through the town. They run through a building where a movie is being screened. The dog jumps through the movie. What movie is it?
Is it Cujo?
Nope. The Cujo wasn't even made yet, dude.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. The Jaws?
Nope. Jaws wasn't even. This movie took place in the 60s, dude.
That's right. It's a famous movie from the 60s.
I wouldn't say it's from the 60s.
I don't know.
Wolfman.
I wouldn't have known it.
You're turning into a werewolf.
I probably never even knew what was playing in that movie.
All right, give me something.
I'll give you something.
Give me something.
Which movie has all three... No, let me rephrase. Which movie has 3 Culkin kids in it?
3 Culkin kids. I mean, Home Alone had 2.
Say it a little louder.
I said Home Alone had 2 that I know of. I'm not sure if there was another one. It has 3 Culkin kids because I can only think of Macaulay Culkin and his younger brother, and I know that they were both in Home Alone.
That's true. They both are in Home Alone.
Is it Home Alone?
No, it's not.
Okay, hold on. Then I would say Uncle Buck.
No.
No, what is it?
The Good Son.
Motherfucker, the Good Son.
That's his sister.
Fuck you. All
She
right.
actually really did die in real life.
Way to bring it down, bro.
I know,
Like, what
but
the
it's
hell?
crazy because like she almost got thrown into the ice in that movie, and she really did die in real
I
life.
need to rewatch it.
I think like in a
have it
car
on
accident
VHS.
or something.
All right, so I got one for you.
Oh yeah, it's your turn. So what is it right now? Are we 2-2?
You're 2-1. It's 2-1.
2-1.
All right. In Pulp Fiction, what was the name of Harvey Keitel's character who helped them dispose of a body? I'll even just give you the nickname.
The Wolf.
Okay, you got it. That was 3. You got it.
Oh, I won.
You won. Good for you.
Oh man.
I gave you layups, bro. I even said the name of one of your answers.
Oh come on, dude. That didn't help me at all.
All right, well, it's the movie. What you got?
Do you
for
want to give me a different question?
No, that's it.
'Cause I got more for
That's
ya.
the end. That's the end.
You know, I really had one for weeks. I had it. The movie I was going to make you watch.
Okay.
And I don't even think I'm going to choose it this time.
Why?
Because
It wasn't earned
it's
properly?
I usually watch it in June, and I'm going to wait a little bit so that we watch it at the same time.
All right, well, what fucking movie are you going to make me
So
watch?
instead, I'm really going to put you through some punishment.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm going to make you watch a movie that even I haven't seen. We're going to watch the new Elvis movie.
Fuck, I hate that character. I love Elvis, but that actor who was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
No offense to him, but for just there's just like one of those things that you just want to fucking punch him in the face. I don't know why. And no offense to him, but that's my thoughts.
It's Austin Butler. He plays Tex and Once Upon
even
a Time.
his name is awful.
Austin Butler, he plays Tex and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he will be portraying Elvis Presley in the upcoming film, which also comes out in June, about Elvis. So
You mean the weird Tom Hanks looking movie?
Yeah. So, by the way, when you and I went to the movies the past couple times, they show that trailer, and you're like, "Oh, this looks so stupid." And then you also just said that you hate the guy that plays Tex, and I went, "That's gonna be the movie I'm gonna make him watch."
Well, hey man, it's enough for me to make fun of, so I'm down.
All right, you guys, that was the episode of the Movie Stash of me and Kevin discussing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that movie, and I hope that you guys had a good time listening to it. What was your guys' score on it? The Algometer was, pretty high up, and I want to know what you guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you guys think about it? Message me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, in the comments, or you can also contact me on my website, homeschooled.pod.com. Click on contact. I answer those. And thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoy it. I just wanted to get that out here and make sure I released the episode of Homeschooled Podcast this week because it's a busy week for me. I'm taping my special this weekend, so I hope you guys can make it out to that. And if it's in Paso Robles, California, if you're nearby, great. If not, I'm 3 hours away myself. It's worth the drive, guys. There's a lot of fun stuff to do in that town because it's a beautiful drive. It's all wine vineyards. You can do wine tasting, beer tastings. There's brewery tours. And, of course, you can come watch me tape my special. I'm very proud of the hour special. I hope to see you there. If you're in Salt Lake City, Utah, I will be there May 27th. And then May 28th, I'm in St. George, Utah. And that's what I got for you guys right now. Tickets for everything are at Agostino Comedian or homeschooled.pod.com. Click on tour. Don't forget, if you guys want to start making money on your content, sign up as an affiliate with ShareASale and be sure to use my link in the description. If for some reason you can't find it, you can also go to homeschoolpod.com, click on sponsors, and you will see the ShareASale banner. Click that, and you'll be helping out my show, helping out your show, and we can all start making some money on our content. You guys, wish me luck on my taping. I really appreciate you continuing to support the Homeschool Podcast and coming back here where we document the journey. Come back next episode and I'll tell you guys about the journey of filming the special. I'm Agostino Zoida. Don't forget that only love can save the world. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to do that at all.